Welcome back. Or if this is your first time finding this channel, I want to say you are not here by accident. Whether you were drawn here by curiosity, exhaustion, or something stirring deeper in your soul, you've arrived at a space that was created with intention for healing, for clarity, and for restoration. This is the Narcissism Freedom channel, a spiritual refuge for those who have lived through the hidden storms of narcissistic abuse and are finally ready to reclaim their light. You're safe here, and more than that, you are deeply seen. There's more to you than you think. And I know, maybe you've heard that before. Maybe it sounded like empty encouragement or felt like a phrase people use when they don't know what else to say. But today, let it sink in. Let those words reach the places in you that were told you weren't enough, that you were too sensitive, too complicated, too broken, or too much. Because those words, "there's more to you than you think," aren't flattery. They are truth, divine truth. You see, narcissistic abuse has a way of distorting our reflection. It doesn't just harm your mind, it erodes your identity. It chips away at the confidence you once had and replaces it with shame. It trains you to question your worth and teaches you to shrink. It makes you forget who you are, not because you never had value, but because someone needed to blind you to your own brilliance to feel powerful in your presence. But the truth is, you were never small. You were never disposable. You were never created to be anyone's emotional supply or scapegoat. You were created in the image of something sacred. That means you carry divine fingerprints on your soul. You carry purpose, vision, strength, and wisdom far beyond what you've been told. And no amount of manipulation, control, or gaslighting can erase that truth. It may have been buried. It may have been silenced. But it is still there, and it is still yours. You are not the lies they told. You are not the wounds they caused. You are not the chaos they created. And you are certainly not the version of yourself you had to become just to survive. That version served its purpose, but it is not the totality of who you are. Underneath the trauma responses, the hypervigilance, and the fear of never being enough lives the real you. The you that still dreams. The you that still feels deeply. The you that hasn't given up, even when giving up felt like the only option. God doesn't waste pain. And I know that sounds hard to believe when you've been left in the wreckage of what you thought was love. But the pain you've endured has been shaping something sacred within you. Something eternal. The word says in 2 Corinthians 4 verse 7, "We have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellence of the power may be of God and not of us." That means that even in your most fragile, broken places, something divine has always been shining through. You are carrying treasure. Even if you feel cracked, even if you feel discarded, the value inside you cannot be taken. You may not see the full version of yourself yet. You may be in the middle of untangling the lies from the truth. But every step you take toward healing, every boundary you set, every prayer you whisper in the quiet, every tear you let fall in surrender, it's all evidence that you are becoming. You are becoming more than what they said you'd be. You are becoming someone who remembers who they are, even when the world tried to make you forget. And it's not just about healing for the sake of feeling better. It's about stepping into the fullness of who you were created to be. There's a calling on your life. There's wisdom in your heart. There's power in your voice. There's clarity in your spirit. But narcissistic abuse wanted to silence it, stifle it, and distort it. Because people who are walking in their truth can't be controlled. And people who are free can't be used. You may still be walking through the valley. You may still be learning how to trust yourself again. But even in this part of the process, there is more to you than you think. The spiritual gifts you carry, the discernment you're developing, the compassion you've learned through suffering, all of that has value in this world. All of that is part of your divine purpose. You didn't go through what you did just to end up bitter or broken. You went through it to come out wiser, stronger, and more aligned with your higher self. The one who can no longer be deceived, no longer be controlled, no longer be made small. There is more to you than trauma. There is more to you than survival. There is more to you than how they treated you. You are not here to carry shame. You are here to embody light. And it doesn't matter if no one else saw it at the time. God saw it. God still sees it. And that's why you're still here. That's why you're still being pulled forward, even when the past tries to pull you back. You're not being punished. You're being positioned. Positioned to grow, to heal, to lead, to speak, to shine. So breathe. Let go of the version of yourself that you had to be to get through. You're not just the wounded one. You're not just the survivor. You are the healer. You are the bridge between pain and purpose. You are the proof that darkness doesn't win. That narcissistic abuse doesn't get the final say. That your life is bigger than the brokenness you endured. That your voice matters. That your heart matters. That your presence in this world is intentional, purposeful, and sacred. When you feel small, remember this. The very fact that someone tried so hard to erase you means you were always powerful. The fact that you're still here, still seeking healing, still listening, means there's more to your story. And it's not over. You're not done becoming. There are parts of you that are only just now awakening. There are gifts that trauma couldn't kill. There is joy ahead that pain couldn't block. There is freedom that manipulation couldn't steal. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are not too far gone. You are chosen. You are guided. And you are deeply, deeply loved. So take this as your reminder, your confirmation, your divine message. There's more to you than you think. More resilience, more brilliance, more beauty, more purpose. You are not here to shrink. You are here to rise. And as you rise, you give others permission to do the same. If this message spoke to something deep within your soul, if it reminded you of who you are and why you're still here, then I invite you to stay connected with this space. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Narcissism Freedom channel. And if you feel led to support the growth and awareness of this movement, your contribution helps us reach more hearts, share more healing messages, and build a refuge for those still in the fight. The details to support are listed below in the description. Thank you for being here. You are more powerful than you know, and the best is still ahead.